What is up, party people? It's your boy, Jacob Battaglia, on the first episode of the Battaglia Theory. Dude, this is crazy, man. Who would have thought in a million trillion years that I'd be trying to talk to the internet? It's not a surprise. All I do is talk. All I do is talk. Got a celebratory, there you go, celebratory cigar for everybody to sit here and enjoy this with me. If you got one, if you're a cigar, I'm not a connoisseur. I just be smoking them on occasion. On occasions like these, starting dreams. Oh, all right, boys, gals, ladies, gents. We are here to talk about the madness in the man. Well, I've lived a life of craziness because that's what you get whenever you're Jacob Battaglia over here at the Battaglia Theory. And I started this page just for one simple reason, to inspire. Because with all this negativity going on in the world, and you just I don't know, people aren't looking at people in the eyes anymore and talking to one another, figuring out why people do what they do, what people have been through to cause all the all the dominoes to fall into place to who they are, you know? Ooh, it's a strong one, boys. It's a strong one. But the problem is there's so much divisiveness and just too much media and everything coming up at once, all in our faces, and wondering what are we going to do? How can we go on? How can we raise children? How can we do this, that, and the third with all this craziness and the hectic world that we're in? But I'm here to try and bridge that gap simply by talking about the theories of why I think we'll be okay, because people are people and we'll make it. So, to start this podcast, I want to talk about, or not really talk about, give this in memoriam of my late and great father, Christopher Battaglia. Those of you who did know him knew that he was a heck of a man, and that is the reason I am the person I am today, is because of that man right there. And got some rock and roll sushi in a cup. Just kidding. That's all the cup says. It's not really sushi. But just kidding. So if you see behind you, or behind me really, you see a lot of drums and drum-esque artwork. That's because I'm a drummer, ladies and gents. If it wasn't obvious enough by the crazy beard and shaggy hair and wild man behind me with his tongue out and a drumstick in his hand. But music is what's got me inspired to really notice the compassion in the world. You know, music was, for a lot of people, you talk about music as this healing force that just brings the people together. And music, I don't know, you hear it all the time from people listening to Jimi Hendrix to AC/DC to shoot to even new people today, like shoot, I can't think of anybody because old rock's best. But music brought people together in times when it was really needed. You got the people of whenever they were in the Korean War and the Vietnam War, sitting here, just the hippie movement started and all that, and it brought, some of it was negative obviously, but just the feeling of love and generosity and making our world a better place is why I started really wanting to start this podcast, was to just bring everybody together over not one common goal, but I don't know, me being a musician, I feel like I can speak out to a lot of different people and impact them in ways they didn't know possible. Because here at the Battaglia Theory, we love to inspire, to innovate, And speaking of innovation, we're going to bring up my first guest here in a second, but to say a couple of words about him. First of all, he's family, so I might be a little biased, but even if I wasn't, he's still a man of many talents. He grew up in Los Angeles, and that's all we're going to say about that. We'll let him dive into his story. I'm not going to sit here and talk about him, but this is the man that inspired me to become a drummer. And just he's just inspired me in more ways than one. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome the great Uncle Perry Hartman.
Woo! What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's poppin', player?
What are you guys doing?
You see it, man. You see it. Enjoying the first episode of the Battaglia Theory, dude.
Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. You have come such a long way. People don't realize how difficult and the things that you've been through. And now a father with twins, okay, you got 3 kids, wife, you're working, and now you're feeling led to do a podcast. And let me tell you, man, there's no better time than now to do a podcast.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Like I said, man, the reason I wanted to start it was just because there's so many voices going into people's heads, man, and just not enough of it is positivity and just why we're here. People forget why we're put on this planet, and it's just to love one another and be human. It's able to make mistakes and get up from them mistakes. It's to able to wake up in the morning and have a dream and actually chase and pursue that dream. And that's why I started this podcast, was because I'm a man of many dreams, and I just wanted to actually for once pursue them dreams, So this is why we're here, and this is the Battaglia Theory in a nutshell. We're here for the small man, for the big man, for any man in between. It doesn't matter, because we're all human on this big blue planet called Earth, get through it together.
Absolutely right. And let me tell you something, Jacob. For those that are brand new, well, obviously everybody's brand new to this podcast.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
Anybody who knows you knows how passionate you are. And we have an opportunity to take that passion and to spread it, because it's very contagious. And while many podcasts might focus on negative side of topics, I believe one of the things you shared with me and why you wanted to do this was you can open up the floor for discussion on any topic today, okay? And your passion and excitement to do that and to help other people in the process, I think, is what makes this family so unique. Because if you look at all the people in this family, we all in our own area serve and care for not only the community, but one another. And that unity is so important today.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time with me. I know I'm your nephew and all, but still, I appreciate you just being able to open up, not only just to me, but to other people, people you have and haven't even met yet. So let's get to about you, man. So tell me where you were born, around what time was going on, what was going on, who you're with, stuff like that, just get in. Uncle Perry, who made him,
Well, first of all, it started with our grandparents, and I'm not going to give an extended version because there's not enough time, but let me just give you a good short version. But we've got generations of family from Russia and Germany, and they came to the United States, and they started a family. Thus, my parents, they came to Los Angeles, had a store in the Beverly Hills Hotel called Rex Men's Apparel, where they satisfied all the needs as far as clothing and men's clothing for all of the stars throughout Beverly Hills. I didn't realize, I grew up in Los Angeles. I didn't know the difference. That's all I knew. Only until I moved to Chicago, spent 13 years there and froze to death, and now Tennessee 15 years, can I truly look back and appreciate the coast. And that's what I miss the most. But in a nutshell, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. At the age of 7, my mom passed away. At the age of 17, my dad passed away. And I guess that's almost something that you and I have in common, Jacob.
Yeah.
And if for any reason than this, if the reason why the Lord took my dad was so that I could look at you and tell you that I understand what it's like to lose a father and to be an encouragement with you, then that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really do. And yeah, we're not. I want to make. I know we brought up, losing parents, losing my dad. I'm not in this to get sympathy. That's not why I'm doing it. I want to just, like I said, I just want to keep stressing the love and affection part of it. I'm not in this because woe is me. I feel sorry for myself. It's because so many people just get beat down in life by who we have become as individuals and as a nation and as a world, country, however you see it. And just as life itself, because life is just so complicated and tricky and nobody really knows the purpose of it. So,
Unless, of course, you have the instruction manual.
exactly.
Then at least you know what to expect. So when the lies come in, you don't believe them because you know the truth. And I think today, in a world filled with fake news, we're forgetting what real truth is anymore. I mean, people believe things that are absolutely insane, but they choose to believe it and they want to believe it, and that's their free will. I think that's what makes America America, man, is that we have the ability as Americans to start a podcast, right? To start a business. You talked about innovation and you talked about inspiring. And let me tell you, for any entrepreneur that's ever started a business, it's the hardest thing you've ever had to do because there is faith involved. You have to take a risk. You step out, it's either going to work or it's not. And I think that's what I love about this podcast is that it's already working.
Yeah, man.
It's already reached. I told you, I always look for one. If we can just reach one with a little bit of encouraging words, then we've done our job. But I know, Jacob, I know with this show and other guests and other things, this is just the beginning. So whatever format you see now, I can promise you we'll probably change it because I'm going to continue to give you ideas on how to take this to new levels. Like how many people do you think who own a business, who want to advertise it, who want to reach people in the audiences that we're in? They're there. We just have to wait for all the pieces to come together because ultimately what it comes down to, Jason, is and how you put the Battaglia theory, right? It's a theory.
Exactly.
We got a lot of theories in this world, right? But not like this. Not like this.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. And speaking of businesses and people getting it from the boots, grabbing themselves up from the bootstraps and getting it. Like I said, it's a business. I mean, really, at the end of the day, when you start a podcast, it can.
Well, it costs money. It costs money to run a podcast.
Exactly.
To put it together, it does.
Exactly. And so this is, like I said, this is a dream of mine. It's that faith, like you said, is what people need to. I struggled with it. I'm 25 years old, and I've been working for some multi-million-dollar company for a long time. Everybody does because that's how you got to start. But day after day, I just woke up and I realized that I just wasn't happy working for the man anymore, so to speak. I wanted to pay something for myself, and that's that innovation, that drive that makes people want to get up and start a bit and that's what makes humans humans. We always want to strive to be the best people of ourselves, but I'm digressing here. But business is what we're going to do this first podcast on, because you're a man of business. Actually, fun fact, guys, this podcast was made possible by a business that you just so happen to own called Painter's Dream Productions. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, my man?
Well, Painter's Dream Productions does website design, audio, video production, social media marketing, podcasts, graphic design, like that beautiful graphic behind you. And of course, we have to thank your wonderful wife for the inspiration, because she was the one who came up with that awesome drum set with the logo on it. I mean, that was huge. That's what started the whole thing. So with all these pieces are being put together, but Painter's Dream was put together 20 years ago. And I didn't go full-time the first time. I couldn't. I was having to pay child support. There was no way I could do it. But when I made more money in a week than I made in a month working for someone else, that's when I said now the time. But it wasn't without trouble. It wasn't without risk. It wasn't without cost. My goodness. You know, it costs me quite a bit to decide to do that because there are certain entities that don't like that. They like that steady paycheck. As much as I wanted a steady paycheck, I wanted to spend more time with my kids. I wanted to make sure that when they had events going on, I could be there for them because I learned money isn't everything. You definitely need it. I mean, you can't get a podcast. You can't do these things just out of thin air. But ultimately, Painters Dream Productions has always been about helping people go to the next level. You started at ground zero. Okay, we don't know where this is going to go. You might get called one day by somebody who buys it out. We don't know. But in the end, it's all about taking people to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. And also, another blessing, window washing, is another sponsor of the podcast. Why don't you talk to us about that one as well?
The greatest window cleaner in history. The only challenge is that she's got a torn rotator cuff. So she's had to take the commercial work and put it aside because it's just too much for her to handle. And so she's an awesome window washer. And, you know, she's also, she makes this possible too.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen some of the work she does, and it's by far great.
I got the cleanest windows of any place. My glasses are always clean. I mean, you know.
I can't relate with that one. I might need to get her and give me a quote on these big old spectacles myself. But any future sponsors and just people who own businesses, and that's just in or around where we're at, or just anywhere, whoever's listening to this, and you have an idea, a theory, even a business, something that you just want out there, I will use this stepping stone that I took in my life to help you. And like my uncle's been saying, this podcast, I'll pay for it as long as I can, and it will be, the money will come to do whatever it needs to do. But at the end of the day, it's all about you taking that step out to do it. So no matter how small the idea is that you think, oh, this idea won't go nowhere, you won't know until you try.
The greatest risk in life is to take no risk at all. If you're in the middle of a situation where you have to make a decision, you're double-minded. Do I do this or I do that? First and foremost, you'll know if you have to do it, like this podcast, right? You knew with this podcast you had to do it. There was no question. And God made all the provision for you to make that happen. And here you are.
100.
And that's available for anybody.
Anybody is right. It's just a gift, man. It's a gift. It's a gift, and we have to. You can either choose to open that gift or not.
Now, just so you know, we will have stats on how many people watched live, how many people listened after the fact. So each week you'll have the stats to be able to show these businesses that you have an audience. And once you do, when they find out what the price is, they're going to flip out. Because it's true. It's totally affordable.
It is, man. It's really even affordable enough for me to sponsor it if it wasn't my shindig. Well, what we got.
But you also have twins. Wait a second. Painters Dream Productions sponsored you for one reason. A, because you have twins. Okay. 2, financially, you guys are learning how to have a family and to build a family. You're going to make good decisions. You're going to make bad decisions. It's life. There is not a single person who's watching now, not one, who has not made a mistake. But it's, do you learn from those mistakes and then move on? And I think that's the key. That's what's good. See, one of the things about the show, Jacob, when you were sharing with me some of the inspiration and the idea behind it, you kept saying, well, look, what if I can share a story that impacts somebody else and it helps them? Then that's exactly what it's about.
You're 100% right, and
you're going to watch this video. I should have done this. I should have said this. Don't freaking sweat it, because in the end, you're going to have people who connect and enjoy. Some people are going to leave rude comments. Man, people are just evil. But in the end, dude, you're going to stand before one. That's it. And it ain't them. So just don't let it bother you. You keep going. If the Lord says stop, you stop. If he says go, go. Either way, you win.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot more than you know. Because it's not just, like I said, it's not just my life. That's the problem. I see the struggles that, for those who don't know, I probably should dig into them struggles a little bit. All right. So like I said, I didn't start this to sit here and talk about what was me or, everything's going wrong or nothing like that, because there's everything going right. But I also believe that there's a reason on why I'm going through what I'm going through. And that is to, like Perry said, give a story. Because there's so many people. It's not just me. It's when I know it's happening to me, I just think about so many other people having it worse than me or going through the same thing I'm going through, because it's pain. It hurts me when I'm going through it, but it hurts me more whenever it's other people, other families, and it's just, it's an experience that has molded some generations of my life. And I'm here to break that by starting this podcast. Really, I'm here to just show my kids and show myself in the future that I did it. And if I can do it, if I can step out on that with 2 1-year-olds and a 4-year-old, medical issues and not medical issues with one of those twins and everything else, it's enough for me to keep going, because then my kids will see this one day and they'll see that, oh yeah, my dad got it. He got up every day and he got it. He went 100% with what was in his head, with his dreams, because that's all you can do in this life is chase your dreams, because tomorrow isn't promised. That's why they call it a gift for a reason. The present, right? And so that's why I started this podcast, just for people to jump out. The unknown's scary and terrifying, and it might make you want to slap yourself in the face, but at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's one life. You have, what, the median age is 70 something years for men, 70, 80-ish. That's all you got. And what you do in that is what determines everything else.
Now you're almost, just so you know, can you believe it? You're almost 30 minutes in already on your first show. So as I told you, it goes by super fast. Now I know besides interviews, you also have another section, which is extremely unique. And for those of you who are watching, get ready to comment, because it's going to include you. See, every time, look at this message. You see that? So as you guys comment, we post it, because we want people to know. And there are going to be people who there's all kinds of games and things that we can do to have fun. But go ahead, brother, and tell them about the next segment, because the next segment's going to be
all right. So yeah, like Perry was saying, this is a show not just for me. It's for you. It is for the people. The man that is the smallest cog in society. I say that with air quotes, because there's no small cog. We're all equally important in some way, form, or fashion. But this is for you. This is for everybody about it, and it's just a little fun thing. And me and Destiny were talking about it, and she was like, "Oh, well, you need to get this game on your podcast. You need to do something just like this trivia or something like that." So I was thinking of each guest that I have on here, and just people, not even guests that are on the screen with me. I'm talking about the guests that are viewing. Everybody who wants to participate in this, you can participate in it. We are going to call this Jacob's Today's Entertainment. And Harry, I just want to know your favorite movie of all time. If you had to go to a deserted island and you had one movie you had to bring, not just Harry. Every comment what your favorite movie would be. One movie that you had to watch for the next 5 years, we'll say. And comment, go.
Passion of the Christ.
Mel Gibson.
To me, yeah, that just blew my mind.
Mel Gibson, man. He's a director among directors for stepping out and doing that for sure.
Hey, how many people? Listen, if you're ever looking for a seat on an airplane, wear a shirt like this. No one will sit next to you, I promise. Here we go. We got one. Ready?
Aristocats. William Cruz, I 100%. You and my wife and me, we all have that in common. Aristocats is a good movie. I really didn't. I could have watched it whenever I was younger, but I really didn't remember it. But my wife got me back into it, and because she loves that movie, she'll walk around the house singing it all the time. Dogma, yeah, for sure. All right, that's Jason Underwood. I used to work with him. Major Payne. All right, Johnny Hood, the one who's commenting on this. That's my father-in-law, and he does one of the best Major Payne imitations you've ever heard in your life.
Hey, maybe what you need to do is have him as a guest, and then he can come and do it, because he can go right from. By the way, if you want to join the podcast, we have invite links that we can send out. We can have up to 10 people. Okay, the program that we're using has some limitations, but I really think that between this, what we're doing now, and maybe even like a competition for like Subway gift cards or things like that, this could work really well. We have another one.
The Greatest Show. Oh my goodness. The Greatest Showman. That one's got Hugh Jackman. If you only watch it, it's on Disney Plus. It's about P.T. Barnum. The reason I know so much about this movie is because that is Nova. She's my daughter, the only girl in the family. That is the only movie that calms her down, because being the only girl, the only daughter of the Battaglias in at least 2 generations, if not 3, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she runs that house. So whenever she wants The Greatest Showman, that's what she gets. And it's a good movie. It's a musical. There's so many, though. One of my faves I never get tired of is Stardust. I have not seen that one. You tell me where it is, and I will watch it, because I'm into movies. I'm into action movies. What's up, Alyssa? That is a family friend. Hey, I'm here. Tell me your favorite movie, Alyssa, for you watching. You tell me what's up. What's your favorite movie of all time? And that's a question for me now, ain't it? My favorite movie would be the first Rush Hour. The first Rush Hour with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, man.
Can you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, dude. I just watched that up the other day. Step Brothers. Oh, I did forget about Step Brothers. That is a whole nother movie. That's based around drum sets too. There you go. Yeah, I'd change it to Step Brothers. Gone with the Wind is top notch. I don't like Gone with the Wind. Sorry, can't do it. Can't do Gone with the Wind, Ashley. Ashley, she serves on the worship team with me at Crest Point Church in Smithville, Tennessee. Y'all need to come. We got one 11 o'clock service, or you can go to Sparta and do 9 or 11 as well. They're a church. Anything with Will Ferrell or Marvel, yeah, Marvel is definitely solid too, for sure. Iron Man, the first Iron Man with not Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., who's also been through a lot.
No, dude, you have no idea.
Well,
even if you watch any biography or documentary on Robert Downey Jr., that's not even a third of all that he did.
Yeah, that's the sad part. I'm in many documentaries, but
that's that Los Angeles thing again.
There's many documentaries that I would love to just watch, but I can't. All right, so
what's the next one?
The next one, yeah, I was getting into that. The next one is going to be favorite song. Whichever one your favorite song is, I got a lot of them, so I got to sit. That's what I'm saying. That's
wow.
So I picked it. It makes you really sit there and think about it. You try to think on the Battaglia theory. That's why we called it the Battaglia theory, because you got to think, make a theory.
Oh man, dude, that's tough. Favorite song, huh? I'd probably have to say Moby Dick from Zeppelin. It's probably my favorite song.
My dad loved Led Zeppelin. Oh my goodness, loved Led Zeppelin. Everybody, comment your favorite songs in the podcast.
We got one more movie. Sam came in and
Sam Scavo says The Lord of the Rings. True, 3 films, but all filmed at once. Sam Scavo, I hope you're ready to be on the podcast too, because you're getting on it. Anything Carrie Underwood? All right, she has a voice for sure, for sure. Favorite song? I don't know. On the Backs of Angels by Dream Theater would probably be it.
that's a really good one.
You showed me that one. Yeah, dude. You opened up the doors to Mike Mangini, one of the best drummers ever. I don't care what anybody says. Y'all cap it if you think that he's not as good as he is, because he's 10 times better than what the haters think he is. And Mike Mangini, if you're hearing this, I just want you to know that, because you're solid, for sure. I don't listen to it all the time, but the one that I keep thinking about this year has been When the Wind Blows. Iron Maiden. Anything Iron Maiden is a 10 out of 10, for sure. Dude, I don't. That year was solid in music.
Why did it just sound like you went to the bathroom? Remember, mics pick up everything, dude. Oh, there we go.
No.
Cool. Rock and roll sushi cup.
Rock
Another
and
plug
roll.
for rock and roll sushi.
Exactly.
Wait, we got one.
Santeria. Okay. I like some Lost Lonely Boys. I know that's not Santeria, but
Jesus Walks by Kanye.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
We don't have any others.
Y'all are capping, man. Slacking.
That's all right. What's the next one?
But about those, we'll hop back into those future sponsors and advertisings, because I never really fully touched base. I never swung back around, because I'm just excited about this opportunity that I get to share with people, no matter the size of it. Because like I said, it's just something to kill time, man, and it inspired me to do it, because this is all I do is listen to podcasts. But so what we got right now is, since we're a fresh podcast, we don't really, we're just building ourselves up. We're starting from the ground. What we're going to do is we're going to start out at $25 per show. So that's if you want an ad read. It can be just an ad that captures your business perfectly in a nutshell. If you want to email any requests at thebattagliatheory@gmail.com. We don't have a website yet, but the more people want, we can get a website. So that's what y'all got to do. Everybody watch, and we'll get a website where you can really, really, really do this professionally. I'm just kidding. We're going to do what we can do to make this as easy as possible for anybody listening. Anybody who has a dream and they want to share that dream, come on to the Battaglia Theory. This is calling out future guests. If you are innovative technologically, philosophically, scientifically, mathematically, engine heads, man, musicians, doctors, business owners, school teachers, whoever you are, but it does not matter who you are. If you have an idea and you want to share it, either on the Battaglia Theory as a guest or as an ad read, that is thebattagliatheory@gmail.com. And like I said, you think about setting up a Patreon. I was looking into setting up a Patreon, because I noticed that that's how what I'm talking about right now is pretty much their center of their service, but that costs money. That
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. You got to have Howdy, Scott Sparkman. I've played with this man. Perry has played with this man.
Hey, we have to give a free plug-in for what they're doing because they're working also to make a difference.
You are right. They are doing. It is L&L Auto Sales in Sparta, Tennessee. If you live in Sparta, Tennessee, or anywhere,
Sales and service.
Sales and
service.
And service.
And service.
See, this is why you don't get me to do these ad reads, man.
Somebody's got to do them.
Somebody's got to do them, exactly. But L&L, see,
L&L.
We do L&L Sales and Service. They are across from LTAP. Everybody who's around the Upper Cumberland knows about El Tapatio, which is also a good place. I'm plugging them for free too, hoping that somebody hears me out because El Tap, I love your food and I would love your sponsorship just because I love your food. Anyways, they are doing one. They are, like I said, they are across from El Tapatio, and that is L&L. That's a lot of L's, I know. L&L Sales and Service. That is Scott Sparkman. He is a wonderful guy. Him and his wife, they're just lovely, and they are turning that place around. They will give you a good car at a good price, and they'll service it for you too. Who knew? Because apparently I didn't.
Hey, somebody else wanted to say hello.
My brother Dominic Battaglia. That is the duo of the Battaglia brothers, the BB. I will have him on the podcast eventually as well, because if you think I'm a crazy cat, you have no idea, because he's way more far out than me. And I hope you're listening to this, Dominic, because I know you'd agree. I'm not slamming him, and he knows it.
Hey, look, hey, Sam caught up. Look.
Caught up in you. Okay. 38 special. So that's what I got to listen to. It might be a little bit before my time, but just kidding, Sam. I love you, no matter your age. And do you ever tell me your favorite song there, good sir?
I did.
Okay. Well, what else do we got? We got a favorite recipe as well.
Oh.
We forgot about this one.
This was important because I was thinking about when we do WWE pay-per-views and we have everybody over. There's always really cool recipes that we want to share. So if you have any really cool recipes for snacking, for bands, for any environment, we want to get these shared with people. So during the show, there'll be a small segment for those who want to share recipes, and we will provide the recipes on Facebook, Twitter, all those things. Like someone's egg roll. I can't get that recipe for nothing.
And I am not at liberty to.
And I can't get her to make it either.
I'm not at liberty to talk about my mother's famous egg rolls that we make around family functions. But what I will talk about is the Frank's Red Hot Sauce Buffalo Chicken Dip. That is a. When's the next one? Let me finish this.
Look.
No, she ain't giving you the egg rolls. I told you, dog. But that buffalo chicken dip, it is so easy to make. You make it with it's like 2 cans of the chicken, just that chopped chicken, a thing of cream cheese, some Frank's Red Hot sauce, and some cheddar cheese. And you put it in a crock pot and let it cook for a couple hours, and it is, you'll love it. You'll love it. Summer sausage and cheese, that's pretty simple. That's literally the most simple recipe that we have at our WWE paper gatherings and pay-per-view gatherings. And the next one, Dominic Battaglia, thank you for making a great plug. Sorry, I had to burn. My apologies. Carbonation. The next one is going to be Friday.
Next Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Exactly. For now, we're going to start doing it on Fridays so we can start getting the people who are going to listen to it, because there's no reason to get 100 people listening to it 5 days a week when you can get the same amount of people watching it on one day. There's no reason to bring all that confusion into it when there's no reason to. So for now, if you will all help.
Bingo.
I have to get somebody help for the Meg rolls because I'm not going to do it. So I'm just kidding. I love the Meg rolls. I'd probably help them.
So next Friday.
The next Friday, 6 o'clock, same time. We were too excited to wait the 5 minutes, but we were going to do it at 6:05 and make everybody wait. But we love you guys, and we were excited to jump in and get it done. We're already at 45 minutes. That's crazy.
Can you believe that?
That's flown. That is flown.
45 minutes for your first one already.
Yeah, I feel like I've just been rambling, not talking about nothing, but
Well,
I've had everybody pretty much staying in and watching it, so I appreciate that. It's going to take me a while to get comfortable just looking at a laptop and talking to a laptop for an hour. So as we get into this podcast, we'll know a little bit more about what goes on in my crazy head. For starters, we'll talk about family since
next pay-per-view, we just had Survivor Series. The next one is a day one, WWE day one. But the next night, Mrs. Hartman, I got a Christmas present. We're going to Raw. We're so excited. Raw's going to be so
Monday Night Raw, man.
You know how long it's since I've been to a Raw? I think the last time was when I took Kaya and Randy Orton with the girls. That was the last time.
That's crazy. Haven't you met Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, yes.
We were supposed to sit here.
Myself and Gwen and David Adams. We were at the LA Sports Arena. It was for when Hulk Hogan fought King Kong Bundy in the cage. It was a WrestleMania. And we got to be there. And I got lost when the event was over. And I was standing on the escalator waiting. And I heard, "Excuse me, kid." And I turn around and there's Hulk Hogan. I put my hand on his arm. Gwen's hand was on the other arm. So I found her. And my buddy Token was right behind her. So I have it. But I just can't wait to get to Florida so we can go to Hogan's Beach House or both the Hogan's Hangout and bingo. And see how that works? Now, next week, you're going to be at your place.
Yeah.
Because we're live at Painter's Dream right now.
Yeah. We're literally.
We met earlier. We wanted to make sure everything was set up properly. But anyway, the next one, I believe, is day one, Dominic, and that's January 1st.
Yes.
But you're welcome anytime. You know that. You don't need an invitation.
What a fun one it will be. And sorry, I just want to apologize, like I said, for just not digging into myself a lot. Because like I said, it's just going to take me a bit to get this podcast going and get my head right for it. I thought I was ready. I was excited, and then I'm still excited. It's not that I'm not excited. It's just being excited and not knowing what to say really ain't going to help you. But what I really wanted to discuss, since, like I said, this podcast is all about family. We got my uncle on here, and we've been talking a lot about my family and my struggles. But so I just want to break through my family. We got my wonderful wife, Destiny. Hood was her original name, but we had to change that. I told her we could hyphenate. She could hyphenate, but she ended up not going on that. But it is what it is. Sorry, Johnny. She has a sister and a brother, Kyle and Nikki. And Kyle and their dad and me, we actually get together every family event as much as we can and smoke some cigars. So between that, my dad's cigars, we've grown, and my uncle's love for cigars. He's also smoking one right now. I forgot about that. Yeah, the cigar love is real. So if you're a cigar company, another plug.
We could use a sponsor, Don Diego.
That
would be great.
You know, yeah, dude, for real. Any cigar company, just some free cigars would be legit enough for me. But
we'll work for food.
This crazy shirt enough should be getting what it's getting. Anyways, we've got a bunch of crazy shirts. You'll see them through the weeks. I'll make sure they're clean for you because these are all the crazy shirts I own are these right here. And so Perry, like I said, other than family, this podcast is also about music. And I just want to dive into your musical career because you being in LA, and like I said, you taught me how to play drums, but you never. Yeah, let's dig into when you became a drummer and what all you've done in that drumming career, and let's just dig into that, man. I'm loving to hear it.
A short version. At the
It
age
can be
of
long.
about 4 or 5, I saw Animal on TV with the Muppets, and I knew right away that I had to have that. So I think a year after, I got a Muppet drum set, and that started off the career. And then my sister was dating drummers that Fleetwood Mac was around the corner from us, so we heard them practice. I had another professional drummer, never knew who his name was, but he was definitely a pro drummer. He lived right next to your mom's friend, Maiko, and they live right next door. But anyway, growing up in Los Angeles, I've been in music my whole life. My sister introduced me to people who needed drummers, and I started playing there. I did a lot of recording in Santa Barbara. I played in so many bands, in so many places all over the Sunset Strip. Played in Chicago. I played, and actually now I just started playing again with Scott with Mess to a Message Music, which is one of the things too that I'm sure we'll have to have Scott on, because again, he is such an encouragement, and God has done so many things in his life, and he's just a person who you want to know. And that's, in a nutshell, again, I was one of the first white rappers in LA, thanks to David Token Adams, TWC, West Side in the house. Long story. But a lot, I've been playing my whole life, and I've done many songs, many recordings, and I'm just thankful that I never made it big, because I probably wouldn't be here. I've been so close, and just it never happened. And I'm thankful, because I live a very because I'm an entrepreneur. I've been able to live a life now that I can have music, I can have the things that I want, but at the same time, I didn't miss anything from my children's childhood. And I think where you're at now, bro, with the twins being little, this time right here is so key. But it's hard because you're trying to build a family. And when you're trying to build a family, everybody's working, everybody's trying to make it. And with the economy and everything going on, it doesn't make it any easier. But I can tell you, even with nothing, you can always make something out of nothing. Always. And nothing is not forever. It's temporary.
Exactly.
So that's a nutshell. And look, you got 8 minutes until we're at the hour. You see that? Now, we don't have to stop in an hour. But ultimately, we want it to be, and this is one of the things you and I talked about. Joe Rogan's is how long?
His all right, yeah. So let's go into that. Joe Rogan, you will probably, who knows, you might hear this, man. But I just want you to know that you really have inspired me on this, because you just talk about you just talk about how podcasts have just been leading the industry, and just how yours is set up, how you have so many intelligent, smart people, and how you yourself, I've seen how you've changed just intellectually over the years, and that's kind of what I'm hoping mine will be. But his were about 3 hours. I'm not saying I'm anything like Joe Rogan, because I'm not ripped or bald or good looking at that. But no, for sure. Like, yeah, his were about 3 hours, but we weren't trying to make ours about that long, because we don't know who's going to be getting into it. So we're not trying to make it too much information for people. But as it goes on, and as we get information about people, if you want us to go longer, we will definitely go longer. But at the end of the day, this is all about ease and convenience for our listeners. A lot of people can't promise that, but here at the Battaglia Theory, we can. We are about you. We love you. You are amazing. The small man is the man who gets it done in our great country of America and the world. Battaglia for president. I'm just kidding. I would never, ever, ever get into politics. I could not do it. I'm not that type of individual, clearly, because I can't even talk for an hour without babbling.
Hey, Maddie said you need some comedy.
Dude, all right. Thank you, Matt.
Comedy segment. If you're a comedian and you think you're funny, send an email to the Battaglia Theory at gmail.com saying you're funny. Oh, look, you just got to vote.
I appreciate that. 110% to that hot woman there. Don't tell my wife. Ha! That is my wife if you're just listening. Everybody, don't freak out. But yes, comedy. We are an hour away from Nashville, Tennessee, which has Zany's Comedy Club. There has been so many great comedians who have played at Zany's and have talked about it. I personally have not managed to venture out there because with 3 kids and a third shift job, it's kind of hard to do. But I've seen a lot of people perform special comedy specials there on YouTube, Netflix, whatever, and anybody from Nashville. I want to start with Nashville because Tennessee, that's where you start. We're in Tennessee, so I want to start local before you go global. I don't want to be this big. No. We want to start local with the people of Tennessee. So if you are a Nashville comedian and you want to get your jokes out, you can come out here and do a set. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know that's really hard to do on a podcast, so you don't even have to do nothing like that. But for real, if you are a fan of stand-up comedy and a worker of stand-up comedy, hit up the Battaglia Theory at gmail.com. And if you do not know how to spell my name, even though it's everywhere on this screen, that is Battaglia. Being in Tennessee, you hear about every single pronunciation you can think of except the right one. I love all my Tennessee people, but Italian is not y'all's strong suit. So, because we're there, that is the Battaglia Theory at gmail.com. That is Battaglia. If you were a comedian, you were a gearhead. Speaking of gearheads, we're going to do a free one. Another free plug, Elite Automotive Industries. They're in Sparta, Tennessee. They're out in Doyle. They bought an old t-shirt factory. This place is gigantic, and they turned it into a 10 out of 10 shop. Man, they have a Ferrari in their showroom. These guys have got beautiful cars. They work on beautiful cars, and they are the only people who know how to work on beautiful cars that are of the European descent. They work on Audis, Volkswagens, Volvos, all the other European vehicles that I can't think of, Mazdas. Those are on that side of the world. They're not European, but it counts because they work on them too. Land Rovers, Range Rovers, I already said Volvos. But Sean Gergainers, I'm calling you out. You are a man of intelligence, and I want you on this podcast. So, Libby, Sean, if y'all hear this, Katie, any of the girls, or Diesel, if you hear it, get in on this podcast, please. People would love to hear the thoughts in your head more than mine, I assure you.
Well, I've sent some invitations out for people who can join right now live. And let's see if they call in. I sent them the invitation. We will see.
We will see. But musicians, if you are Tennessee musicians, I know a lot of Tennessee musicians. I would love for you guys to holler at me too, because like I said, music is unity, guys. Music is how we can, one of the many things that we can use to come together. This media in your face 24/7, it's not a good thing, but media of itself is a good thing. The media that's not, the media that's showing out every day. This is why the Battaglia Theory is here to show you love, affection, partial truth because we're not smart enough to make 100% truth. Just kidding. We have a computer. We'll fact check that information for you guys. And for real, guys, I just want to thank you for the opportunity for everybody who's been watching. We're at an hour and 26 seconds, but the wife ain't blowing my phone up telling me to come home, so we can keep on hitting this sucker for a while. We can see what happens. And I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity. And I want to thank this beautiful cigar for lasting this whole podcast. So is this only on Friday nights? Justin Jones probably just tuned in, didn't hear what I said, but that's okay. He's always late, but he's always my best friend. Man, Jonesy, we love you, and I appreciate you listening to me, brother. And for now, it is only going to be on Friday nights until we can get more people to listen to it. One night a week, I feel like is plenty. If Fridays don't work for anybody, if y'all are listening to this throughout the week, we will still see the comments that you comment throughout the whole week. Because I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be watching what this is doing to figure out if I'm going to keep doing it. Just kidding. I'm going to do it until I can't no more. Because at the end of the day, I need reassurance. I'm just kidding. We're doing bad jokes tonight, people. Because I'm driving. You got another hour before I demand attention. Okay. Well, there you go. That's what she said. I'm listening, and everyone else is at Cheddar's too. Shout out to Cheddar's in Cookeville, Tennessee. I'm sure that's the one they're at. I don't know if they have more around here, but I know I go to the one in Cookeville. All these places, if you're just scrolling through YouTube and you've never heard of anywhere of these places in Tennessee, I'm sorry. They're small town USA. We are for the people, by the people. And yes, like I said, Jonesy, this is only going to be for Friday nights for now, until we can get people in. So people from Cheddar's, the Battaglia Theory. We are at Theory Battaglia on Twitter. Not Battaglia Theory, but Theory Battaglia because it was already taken. On Facebook, we are the Battaglia Theory. On YouTube, we are the Battaglia Theory. I just like saying my last name, and I want all of y'all to be able to say it right too. So it is at the Battaglia Theory on Facebook and YouTube, and on Twitter is at Theory Battaglia. This has been an amazing podcast. We're not done yet. The fun has just begun. You hear that music? You hear the intro? That intro? I don't know how my uncle found it, but he found it. He got it on here. He'll tell you about how he found it and how he got it on here, but it is just amazing. The guitar in it's awesome. The drums are awesome. I just want y'all to know I love rock and roll, man. That's why I chose it. He sent it to me and I knew it was perfect. My wife made the logo. I knew it was perfect. Uncle Perry adapted on that logo and I knew it was perfect. We are for rock and roll, for the people, less government. We don't want them to hear that, but we're going to tell them that anyways. We'll get there one day, or we won't. We don't know. I told myself I was going to talk politics on this podcast because the general populace ain't ready for what Jacob's got to say. But we'll get there here at the Battaglia Theory. I have watched a Netflix special recently, since this is a podcast about innovation, and because I'm not an intelligent person, I don't know much about innovation. So that's why I watch stuff. I can't read because I got ADHD and it's not that interesting. The wife has spoken. Let it be so. Yep, we'll see. You're right. Let it be so. And anyways, I've been watching this podcast. I've watched this documentary on Netflix, and I don't remember what it was called, but it was about the SpaceX and Elon Musk, right? I'm kidding. Take your time. Eat that, Ashley. Taking my time, I shall. And I was watching this documentary, and Elon Musk is the first person to use to have and be able to successfully attempt a reusable rocket. Granted, that is only a stage 2 rocket, so that's only the bottom part of the rocket. Whenever it falls off from the top, from the full rocket, as they're shooting up through the atmosphere. But he is the only one to successfully attempt it. And what it does, it is, imagine that this is his rocket. It'll literally just go straight down. 3-4 legs will open up, fall, land. First successful attempt, and the Falcon, he's got Falcon 8, 9, a lot of different trial and errors for this man. He might be in controversy right now because all people that make a bunch of money are, but that is a smart man. He is the only person to make a reusable rocket. He is going to be the person to get us into the moon, to Mars, to space. It's pretty crazy, man. Y'all aren't ready for all of the stuff that goes through Jacob's head because it's just wild, but we'll get there. Perry came on. It looked like he was going to say something, so we'll turn it over to him for a second because it looks like he was fixing to say something. Oh, he's sitting here shaking his head. No, he's fine with me just sitting here rambling on about it. Another one. All right, so that Twitter, we're shouting out Elon Musk. You might hear this, you might not, but I think you're smart, and I think you're the man. And I would be darned if you could be on my podcast. I know that probably won't happen, but just in case. And while we're talking about theories and loving people to be on my podcast, at Graham Hancock, your documentary on it's called Ancient Apocalypse, and it is also on Netflix. I try to talk to my wife about this, but she don't get into it with me. I need to get a plug-in for this laptop here because it is fixing to die. So we'll grab that here in a second, or my lovely counterpart is on the way to get it. But Ancient Apocalypse, that is a pretty good one too. It is about the younger dry-ass impact theory. I don't know if y'all know about that or not, but it's a Taurid meteor stream that comes through every June and October. And he thinks about so on many years ago, I can't really remember, that he thinks that we went through a meteor field and it pretty much restarted an apocalypse and killed the ice age. But the stuff that he goes and sees with his own 2 eyes that he documents, it is some of the most breathtaking structures that I have ever seen. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but I am a very huge fan of ancient civilizations. I love them. I love learning about them because most of them were more intelligent than us, like the Egyptians. Don't get me started on the Egyptians, dude. The pyramids, man. The pyramids they're insane. I'm not even going to get into the pyramids. We'll save that for another episode. It was somebody a lot smarter than me. So if you're an Egyptologist, geologist, archaeologist, whatever, and you want to get on this podcast, if you're hearing from Tech, MTSU, or somewhere else, that is at the Battaglia Theory at gmail.com. Send me your application. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'm lightheaded, man. I've been talking for like 20 minutes straight. I don't talk like this much, but
welcome to the world of podcasting.
I dig it, man. I really do dig it. I really do dig it, man. People have been attentive, and sky's the limit from here, man. Sky's the limit from here, dude. And I'm just excited. I'm just thankful for the opportunities that this podcast is giving me right now to just be an idiot on the internet with a camera for a couple hours. You know, it's pretty nice. So I think with that, we will end the first episode of the Battaglia Theory. Guys, thank you. You have been awesome. Just keep talking to me when I'm on these podcasts, man. Talk. I don't care. I will talk to you back. If your little name pops up on the screen, I will talk to you. This has been the Battaglia Theory with your host, Jacob Battaglia, and I could not ask for a better day to do this. This was Friday, the first episode. We will see y'all next Friday. Thank you and have a great night, and rock on Sparta, Tennessee, McMinnville, Tennessee, Cookeville, Tennessee. We love you, and God bless the USA, baby.